Kanksshi, you have been advocating for this long, and I've been reading. A lot of what you have been writing and speaking. You know, how do you foresee this bill, the Women's Reservation Bill? The big question: how is it going to impact the participation of women in politics for real?
बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग सवाल है। अच्छा, मुझसे तो मैं तो ठीक है, नेत्री फाउंडेशन पिछले 4-5 साल से ये काम कर रहे हैं। इस देश में ये लड़ाई 26 सालों से चल रही है। सो आई रियली स्टैंड ऑन द शोल्डर्स ऑफ many many women across party lines. You say Brinda Kharat and Geeta Mukherjee and Sushma Swaraj, and I think there are so many women to be named. Ranjana Kumari from civil society, who was also like, been a part of this movement. There are so many women to be remembered in this. Um, when we advocate for this, exactly one generation has already passed, right? 26 साल हो गए. I say this bill is as old as me, right? Like I'm not revealing my age here right now, but it's as old as me. You could say that, right? Like, and which means one generation has already passed. It's time to move and give promises to another generation of women who want to be here. अगर आप मुझसे दो तरीके से सवाल, अगर आप मुझसे एकदम पॉलिटिकल क्रिटिक की तरह ये सवाल पूछेंगे, तो मुझे मालूम है इस बिल की बहुत सारी खामियां हैं. इस बिल में पहले ये इंटरसेक्शनैलिटी की वजह से पास नहीं हो सका, जो कि अभी भी एक मुद्दा कल पार्लियामेंट में उठाया गया लोकसभा में कि ओबीसी रिजर्वेशन नहीं है. पर मुझे जितनी राजनीति की समझ है, और मैं बोलूंगी कि काफी है, इतनी तो है कि मैं कॉम्प्रिहेंड कर सकूं कि ये बिल कैसे लाया गया है. ये बिल कल होम मिनिस्टर ने ये एक्सप्लेन किया कि ये बिल वर्टिकल रिजर्वेशन के थ्रू आया है, राइट? आर्टिकल 330 और 332 में हमने जाकर ये कहा कि जो एग्जिस्टिंग रिजर्वेशन है एससी एसटी के लिए, उसके अंडर हम एक विमेन का कैटेगरी भी बना रहे हैं और जनरल सीट्स में भी. जब ओबीसी एज अ पॉलिटिकल कैटेगरी ही आइडेंटिफाइड नहीं है, और मैं अगर आपको एक पॉलिटिकल आंसर दूं इसका, तो वो ये है कि हम ओबीसी विमेन का अगर इसमें इंक्लूजन करने जाते, कल को ओबीसी पूरी कम्युनिटी बाहर खड़ी होती और ये बोल रही होती कि ओबीसीज का तो वैसे तो कोई भी पॉलिटिकल रिजर्वेशन नहीं है, तो ये औरतों के लिए क्यों कर दिया? थिंक ऑफ द मिसोजिनी दैट वुड हैव आल्सो फॉलोड देयर, राइट? ये अभी के समय में बिकॉज हमारे पास कास्ट सेंसस नहीं हुआ है, और वो एक दूसरा मुद्दा है, वो कुछ पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज का एक दूसरा मुद्दा है कि हमको कास्ट सेंसस उनको चाहिए और करवाना चाहिए. और वो जब होगा और तब जब वो पॉपुलेशन डिमांड करेगी, जब वो उस कम्युनिटी के लिए रिजर्वेशन होगा, वहां पे वुमेन विल फिर मतलब वुमेन का रिजर्वेशन विद इन दैट कम्युनिटी फिर से होगा. हैविंग सेड दैट, स्नेहा, ये दूसरी बात इस बिल की टेक्निकलिटी की परेशानी ये है, जो आज इसका मुझे लगता है कि एक बहुत ही जिस लिंकिंग की वजह से ये बिल बहुत ही मुश्किल बन गया है, वो है डीलिमिटेशन. अब वो मुश्किल है इसलिए है कि आप ऐसे मान लीजिए कि जैसे जैसे औरतों की ये जो लड़ाई थी, पहले हमने देखा कि पहले पार्लियामेंट में लोग एक दूसरे को मारने पर उतर आए थे और औरतों को अपने आप को बचाना पड़ा था. पहले के पार्लियामेंट की अगर आप कहानी देखेंगे जहां पे ये बिल डिस्कशन में आया था, it was very very hard to even pass this bill because there was physical violence as well in the parliament. This bill was torn up. Now no political party will try to even go against women because women have significantly become a big number on the polling booths. Women are bigger voters than men at this point, and no party wants to offend women. There are so many political parties that continue to retain in power or come back in power because of women vote. हैविंग सेड दैट, ये मुद्दा जैसे जैसे इतनी एडवोकेसी करके और जेंडर में हम जहां पे भी आगे बढ़े, ये मुद्दा जैसे जैसे पैल्पिटेबल हुआ, आपने एक बहुत ही कंटेंशियस मुद्दा डीलिमिटेशन का, जहां कोई पार्टी किसी से अग्री नहीं करने वाली है, उसको इसके साथ जोड़ दिया है. नाउ दैट यू हैव लिंक्ड टू टू वेरी one is an issue that nobody wants to go against, and one is a very contentious issue where everybody will again fight neck to neck. You have linked the two. And now everything depends on this if and but condition. This is the technicality of it. This is the reality of it. That there is a hard, solid condition that if that doesn't get fulfilled the way it needs to get fulfilled, this bill will be in the limbo. And that is heartbreaking. But I'll come to the other side of it. This is like a political critique that I'm talking. But using your platform, I want to tell women out there, when Netri started, I said that people said, "Why don't you contest election?" I said, "I'll contest with thousands of other women in the country. I will not contest this election alone. This is not going to be my lone fight. I want thousands of women contesting together in sisterhood across political parties, across political lines, and that is why Netri is a non-partisan organization, and we work with all political representation. Right? आई एम वेटिंग फॉर थाउजेंड्स ऑफ women to say कि ये जब भी होगा, ये जिस दिन भी होगा, मैं तैयार हूं. नेत्री इसलिए ही चालू हुआ था. वी स्टार्टेड नेत्री बिकॉज वी वांटेड टू ट्रेन women and say the day this moment comes, you should be ready. If people asked right now that, are there women ready to contest, we would say yes, we know them, right? At least at Netri we know them. uh, 5 years more, 6 years more, whenever. And now the parties are going to set into motion. This is your opportunity. Grab it with both hands. Make your space in the party. Use this argument that I'm giving you today, that the day this happens, you need to be ready. You have to tell this to your political party that they need to invest in you today. They need to let you nurture your constituency. They need to let you understand politics. They need to give you space in their political ecosystem, because the day they will be mandated to put 33% reservation, they will be scouring for women, looking left, right, and center. And so many women have been in the political ecosystem. They're already part of the political parties. They have just not been given any positions of responsibility. They are used largely as karyakartas. They are not looked at as their intellectual abilities are almost questioned within political parties. They are told कि ये जाकर कर लो, पर जहां पे भी डिसीजन मेकिंग या इनिशिएटिव टेकिंग की बात आती है उस बार उसमें कोई इन्वेस्टमेंट नहीं करते हैं.
Yeah. One more thing, Kashi, I've been seeing this, and I'm sure you have also heard the argument which's been there for at least for the past 2 days, that this reservation is only going to probably benefit privileged women, which is going to worsen the situation for marginalized and unprivileged groups. With that, could you also a little bit throw light on the intersectionality debate on this? But first, answering the first question.
Very interesting question, and I have a response to it. Who gives tickets to women, like, or who gives ticket to political people? The same people who are sitting in the parliament and saying ये privileged women को benefit करेगा. आप अपनी पार्टी में मत करिए ना. आप अपनी पार्टी में एक ऐसा सिस्टम लेकर आइए that your candidate selection is absolutely dependent on कि आप उस औरत का काम देखेंगे. You will evaluate. Where is the system of evaluation for any candidate you're giving? Where is it? Even for men are also somebody's bhatija, relative, nephew, son. So I think instead of sons, now it's going to be women. Deal with it. The fact that it is your responsibility, it is your burden to do the right candidature selection. It is not women's burden. Don't put it on them. You are the ultimate people who give tickets, no? Give to the right women. Only entertain the right women according to you. We are saying anyone who's showing interest, is taking responsibility, is credible enough to represent the rights and the demands of their people, is the right candidate. It's a populist democracy. You win by popular vote. That person will also ultimately will have to win the votes of the people, right? So one is bring more transparency in electoral funding. That is your answer. And second, have better systems of evaluation for candidature. It is your responsibility.
Right. There's one more thing. there's a lot of debate that is happening over the timing of the legislation, and I'm quite sure you've been talking about this. You've also talked about delimitation exercise and how it's going to ultimately take years to come into force. But can we talk a bit about the timing of the legislation? Why the law is passed now? What are the implications of this now? And especially when we know that the census are not going to happen at least till 2025. How do you see that?
So, see, timing of it and all of that is definitely a political marker that one can evaluate this bill on, right? And I would like to comment on it from a perspective that yes, every law in this country is passed with a political motive, and why not, right? It is done for the right benefits of the people, but you can imagine any particular, so ये अभी मुद्दा चलिए आप बोलते हैं कि ये औरतों का मुद्दा नहीं होता, ये फार्मर्स का मुद्दा होता, ये कश्मीर का मुद्दा होता, ये आर्मी का मुद्दा होता. Anything timed with the election will be questioned like that, and it is rightly right to question it like that. बट एट द सेम टाइम एवरीथिंग, अगर आप बोलेंगे कि नहीं हम इस पे राजनीति नहीं कर रहे हैं बल्कि आप राजनीति कर रहे हैं, यू आर डूइंग पॉलिटिक्स एंड डूइंग पॉलिटिक्स इज योर इज समथिंग दैट यू विल डू, राइट? As governments, however, your mandates are different. As governments, you have to ensure, as a union cabinet, when you're passing this, the party will definitely say, yes, let's bring it right now. But as a union cabinet, you have to evaluate that if you're bringing this bill right now, and if you're going to link it with census and delimitation, uh, you're actually putting it as a ploy. You are not. So that is the role of the government, to see that what is the possibility of its implementation, because parties will do politics, right? It is, however, government should go beyond politics. Government's role is to govern. Government role is to make sure that the implementation is proper, because they are bureaucrats, and so many institutions and commissions will be involved in doing this. So bureaucrats and civil servants plus staffs of the public office, so many people will be involved in this exercise, right? So given that it is, that is my whole problem. This could have been done immediately if you were to do readjustment of the constituencies right now, and you were to say that on this day we have constituencies on these bases. So we were, I think there is much scholarship to be done on how you were able to do SC/ST reservation, and you needed census to do that, because you needed to say कि कहाँ पे वो population ज़्यादा है, right? You needed population census. वुमेन आप बांट बांट आप ये देंगे कि मेरी कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी में ज्यादा औरतें, इसलिए मतलब यहाँ पे ज्यादा औरतें रहती है इसलिए यहाँ पे औरतें ज्यादा कंटेस्ट करनी चाहिए. इज दैट द रीजन दैट वुमेन शुड बी इन पॉलिटिक्स? Like, I should I only represent the rights of the women? No, we will represent the rights of the we will also represent the rights of the women, right? The fact that this is being looked at as औरतें कहाँ पे काउंट करेंगे आप पहले, आई डोंट सी लॉजिक इन दैट आर्ग्यूमेंट, बिकॉज योर सिलेक्शन क्राइटेरिया हैज टू बी डिफरेंट. And this shows an ill drafted and ill referenced bill that we have gotten, that we have not studied how to do this rotational basis. You have not studied enough that how will you do the reservation, what will be the criteria of this reservation, and how will it rotate. Without thinking through or explaining any of this, it is an ill drafted document, is what I would say.
Yeah, rightly said. And while even I was reading it, I could see that most of it was also a question even in explainers. When they explained how the bill is going to be implemented. I mean, a lot of such questions about rotational basis of allocation of the seats, they were not answered largely. But my last question to you, Kanshi, is that we know of other countries across the world, that have uh, introduced gender reservation in their political systems. So, do we have lessons that India can learn from other countries that have implemented this gender quota system in their own countries?
I think India is going to be a unique example of its own. Uh, I also feel, and I'm very strongly critical of. Sure, we can reference. As I said, it should be researched well, it should be referenced well. But there should be a lot more consultation with the civil society in the global south, right? Uh, South needs to stop looking at the north, or East needs to stop like looking at the validation of the West, right? Sometimes what works there could not be the best thing that may work here. However, because we have like very unique challenges, it could be of caste and class and religion, it could be of language, it is of territory and region, it is of the urban rural divide, the digital divide. You have to think about so much in this country, and so many accesses on which we are divided. Your intersectionality is like within gender is not only caste. There is a digital divide, there is an urban rural divide, there is a language divide. How are you going to bring that all together? uh, is going to be an interesting implementation lesson for the world, I would rather say, right? And I'm sure that we are happy to share resources, but nothing comes to my mind and I can say that oh, we should do exactly like them, right? Rwanda is a great example because it was a colony in itself, and it's a country which also dealt with a lot of poverty and illiteracy. One can look at that, but at the same time, in this country where we are saying that already there are so many existing schemes for women, what is the new reason why you should need women? Because one person saying and one person's experience is not enough. You need diversity, you need amplification of that one person's experience. Because okay, imagine 10 people in the room and look at the body language of that one woman. She'll be standing in a corner, maybe in a party, like with her little piece of food or a glass of water in her hand in the corner. There are two of them, they get chit-chatting. There are four of them, they take the center in the party as well. And if they're like almost equal, the dynamics and the behavior of the men also changes. They become far more civil, right? You have to really think about it from a point of view that how this inclusion will change the nature of governance altogether. Right now, you may have women-centric schemes, but if you look at the language of the parliamentary debates yesterday, including women, the whole narrative around the women being the wife, the mother, the sister, is not the reason why you should give reservation to them. Yeah, we are human beings, like with equal intellectual emotional capacity, or like and this idea that, oh, women are even more powerful. Yes, our genes have evolved to be far more empathetic, but this is not also an altruistic burden on women to be more empathetic. I think it should be reflected in the rooms. So as far as case study is concerned, I think India will emerge as a case study in its own right.